Zach, I think you said you'd have a update for Joe on surgery. Sam said he was headed out to the West Coast. Can you tell us a little bit more about what's going on with Joe right now?
Yeah, he'll have surgery this week. And that's really I don't usually like to get into the specifics of the surgeries and the doctors and all that, but he'll have surgery this week.
When do you expect that he'll be back in Cincinnati?
It certainly would be a bit now, just traveling after surgery with the pandemic. I don't want to make any projections there, but would imagine he'll be out there for a little bit.
You know what day he's scheduled to have surgery?
I just know that it's the middle of the week sometime.
Gotcha.
I noticed yesterday guys like Trevion Williams, Brandon Wilson had more of an opportunity on offense, on defense. Is there an opportunity in general for some of the younger guys to get more playing time down the stretch?
Well, we're going to do whatever it takes to win the football game and look at whoever gives us that opportunity. Trevion obviously got the 2. He got a carry on offense and he got the reception as well. Brandon Williams played some on defense. Really he had a contested play there where Ingram made the play and Brandon was in really good position. It just came down to a great throw and a great catch, but he was right there. So, again, we're going to try to put together whatever plan it is that utilizes whoever it is that gives us a chance to win.
Coach, as you going, down the stretch and look at your roster, you've got a lot of guys that are hurt and then coming back and playing well. Overall, do you feel good about your roster and just excited about when you can get them all out on the field at the same time?
I do think, that we have some players that can really help us, but that's just not the way that this whole thing works. You got to play with the guys that are there. And, these guys are giving us everything they got. And we got to find ways as a coaching staff to produce some wins out of it, because you just look again at the fourth quarter. Really, I think it comes down to, you look at the first drive of the game for our defense. Yeah, they gave up a big pass down there into the tight red zone. And then they had 3 great stops. I mean, they had a stop on the inch-yard line with 3 guys at the point of attack, moved the ball carrier back, and then they tempoed us on the 4th down. They scored. But you see these guys, they're not making any excuses. The guys that are on the field, they're doing everything they can to win the game. I just got to put them in a better position to be able to finish these games off and find some wins here.
Zach, this question is going to sound stupid. I don't mean it to sound stupid when I ask this, but why do wins matter for a team right now who is out of the playoff race and coming down to the final 5 weeks with only 2 wins?
That's all we work for. That's all of our time and energy. If you saw the work that went inside the facility, coaching staff, players, every second of our day is geared towards winning a football game and putting ourselves in a position to win. It's all we think about. It's all we care about. It's all we work for. And so that's all that matters to us, is again, improving everything about this team and this organization every single day. But at the end of the day, we fight for wins. We have a 7-day work week. It starts on a Monday, and our rhythm is exactly the same every week, and it ends on Sunday with, you want to win the football game, because I sure as hell know what it feels like when you don't. And we're all sick and tired of this feeling. And so all that matters to us is finding ways to win games, and we don't really care about all the other stuff. We just want to win.
Zach, when you look at the stat sheet after the game, they ran 34 snaps. They had the ball for almost 15 minutes more. They had over 200 yards more offense, yet you're in position to kick a game-winning field goal. How sad does it make you to waste that effort that the defense and the special teams had?
Yeah, it makes you miserable, to be quite honest with you. And because at the end of the day, defense held them to 7 points, because we gave them 6 points off of turnovers there in the second half. They got the interception. Defense did a nice job. They turned around and kicked the field goal. They were already in field goal range. And then at the end of the game, we had the fumble, and they turned around and kicked the field goal. Defense made some stops, and they kicked the field goal there. And so things could be a lot different had we not put them in that position. And so, again, it's all 3 phases working together. And yesterday we weren't at our best on offense, but I thought the defense and the special teams certainly did enough to get us a win.
You mentioned Joe was going out west for surgery. What have those conversations been like with him just since the injury, since he's kind of been removed from being on the field? And just what's that communication been like with him since that injury?
Yeah, I've talked to him every day except for yesterday probably. He's been in the building, in the training room. He's been a part of quarterback meetings, all the things that you would expect from him. So the communication's been great.
Zach, why is he what's been the benefit of having him in the quarterback meetings? Is that something that you said, hey, do you want to come in? Did he ask you? How did that whole process work?
No, I mean, I'll be honest, he hasn't been in every quarterback meeting, but there's times where where he's not doing something in the training room where he's popped in. And I think he just likes being around the guys.
There's nothing he could do yesterday. He wasn't down at the stadium yesterday, was he?
No. The COVID thing complicates things with guys on IR, just in terms of people being around the team, the league rules at this point. So nothing to do with him, just everything to do with these complicated times.
Right.
Zach, speaking of the COVID rules, did Kevin Hogan really spend a week in a hotel room?
All guys that you bring in to work out have to go through a 6-day protocol of testing and physicals before they can be around the team, because they travel in from all different parts of the country. So that's no different from here or Philadelphia or Seattle, whoever it is. They have to be there 6 days. So oftentimes you guys ask me questions about how a guy worked out, when in reality I know the workout's not for a couple more days because it's been reported that they're in town, they're working out, when in reality they got to go through 6 days of protocols before we can get them on the field to work them out. So we worked out Kevin on Saturday, even though he had probably been here since Monday, I would imagine.
Did you ask him how he spent his time?
No, I didn't. It was a quick, we're focused on getting you're around him for the quick workout, and then you make the decision to sign him. And then at that point I move on and just focus on the game.
Zach, numbers are going up around the league as far as COVID and guys going on COVID lists. There are games being moved, games being postponed, and you guys are obviously home right now. Are things getting more difficult to make this happen and stay competitive as the year goes on?
We are so isolated. I am aware of all of that, and certainly it gets preached by our trainers and everybody involved in that. But we're in the building so much with these guys, and our trust is just that when they do go home, that they are staying away from people, and you just got to trust them there. But I think they've done a great job in the building. I mean, we are not around each other at all, except on the practice field. It's a very isolated situation. We're always on Zooms. You rarely get to interact with these guys other than when you walk onto the field. And so from that way, we've taken every necessary precaution. Our guys have done a great job. The staff here has done a great job putting us in that position. And, we're just trying to keep everybody safe so we can play all these games.
Is the league thinking that they do this 48-hour thing that will kind of reboot anybody that has tested positive, the 48-hour, quarantine as such, where you're contagious? Or why the 48 hours where they shut everything down?
I think that memo came out on Saturday, and we got so much going on just trying to get ready for a game. We just follow the rules. They say out for 48 hours. We go out for 48 hours. We Zoom with our guys. We Zoom as a staff. I honestly haven't asked any of those questions. We got a lot of work to do, so we focus on that.
Coach, when you look at Quentin Spain spoke earlier about how he talked to Michael Jordan about just, keeping his head in the game and the challenges of the NFL. And last week, Logan Wilson talked about Josh Bynes and, the things that he's teaching them on and off the field. And, Von Bell, we know about his leadership. How valuable has that been during a season that hasn't turned out the way you expected?
Absolutely. I mean, all those guys that we brought in the building, for the reasons we brought them in, the talent and the leadership has held true. And those guys have done a great job. We got a lot of young players playing ball for us, first, second-year guys, and the veterans on this team have done a really good job educating them. Josh Bynes is an excellent example. He's done an outstanding job bringing those guys along. Quentin Spain is everything from a professional you could ask for. So we got Xavier Suafilo. I mean, a lot of guys you guys probably haven't really seen that much yet, but there's a lot of good leadership from some guys who have been here for the first year, as well as some guys that have been here in the past. But they've done a really good job doing their best to bring these young guys along.
Thanks.
Zach,
when you guys are 4-22-1, how do you sell inside the building that things are still headed in the right direction, whether that be in the locker room or even in the front offices?
Yeah, my communication with the players is we show them the tape. We show them where the mistakes are. We show them the directions we're headed in the right way. Oftentimes this thing has come down to one play, and we gotta find that way to make that one play at the end of the game, and we just haven't done it yet. But again, all I can say is that when you stand in front of the team at the end of a game, win or loss, and you preach to those guys, you know that they're all in it together, and they believe in what we're doing, and they can see it because they see it every day in practice. They see it on the game tape. They know where we're close. We're just not getting it done yet, and that's our focus is keeping these guys together. That hasn't been as difficult as some might think it is, just because we're trying to build it of the right talent and character combined, and that has really helped us through these trying times. And The other part, we keep doing everything that we believe in and keep making progress. And I know there's a day where we're going to bust down this wall and there's going to be some great times ahead. I know that right now it's very difficult sometimes when you deal with these losses, but I also know what our future holds for us. And we got to keep working towards that. And these 2 years that we've endured will serve us incredibly well in the future. When we're winning a lot of football games, we're playing for championships. These will be times that we look back on and reflect on as almost necessary for where we end up being.
Zach, with those 4 wins in 2 years, do you feel any extra pressure personally as you get close to the end of year 2?
I feel pressure every single day to be urgent, to do my job the best I can. And it shouldn't change. If you believe in the way that you're approaching things and what your vision is, it shouldn't change based on wins or losses. We tell the guys we want consistent players as they walk through the building every single day. We need to know what to expect from them. I sure as heck am not going to be any different than the day I showed up on the job, and believe in what the staff is asking these players to do. Believe that the players have bought in and they know that this is the right way to do it. And we're not going to change just because of we're not going to change our personalities or the way we go about our business just because of the trials that we faced.
Zac, do you have players on the roster that you're trying to identify that can make that play to ultimately decide football games, or are they there and they just haven't been making them yet?
I think, you can point to probably, if you just look at the offense side of the ball, 7 or 8 plays there that could end up being the difference in the game. They happen all the way throughout the game, and whether it was a drop or doing a better job, in the run game and springing us so we're not in a 2nd and 10, we're in a 2nd and 2. On defensively, we probably got 3 more hands on balls that could have been picks, and so we need that. We need a 4 turnover day sometimes, a 5 turnover day on defense. And so again, it happens all throughout the game. We will show them to the play. We have a team meeting here later today. We'll show them to the players, and they know where the opportunities lay, and we gotta make more of those plays as the game proceeds.
2 more minutes with Coach.
One player that did make a play is Brandon Wilson. How much of an asset has he been on special teams this season?
It was tremendous. It really was. That was, they go down and he provides the answer, really for the team with that return. And it's not just him. I mean, there was some great blocking right there in front of him. He obviously had the gas to turn it on and go score. And, Alex Anderson, tremendous play. I mean, there's bodies flying over the play on that last punt return. Sean Williams getting 2 pieces of guys. He had the gunner, and then he turns around and tries to make another block to spring him. And so just tremendous effort by both units, by both returners to put us in a position to win the game.
Zach, watching what happened with Denver with their loss of quarterbacks, do you feel kind of vindicated on how y'all treated Brandon, or do you feel good about the way y'all treated Brandon worked out?
Not vindicated in any way. It's nobody has the exact right answer on how to handle everything. And so you just got to do your best to think you're doing what's right. Keeping Brandon away from guys is what we felt was right. We'll do the same thing with Hogan. Just because at those specialist positions, I'm talking specialists and quarterbacks, that's tough sledding if something goes wrong there. And but again, I think our guys have bought in and handled it the right way.
One last question.
After the
Have you been told?
After the 2 more, Dave and Charlie. I'll get 2 more in. Go ahead, Charlie.
After the Washington game, you stressed the positive momentum on the offensive line. Did you see the continuation of that progress yesterday?
I don't think it was perfect. I think there's a lot of things we got to improve on up front. There's no question about it. The run game wasn't what we'd hoped, and in protection, there's some things we got to clean up as well. So certainly, when you have the performance like we did on offense, there's really not a position group that you can say did their job to the best of their abilities. We got to improve on every group on offense there. Go ahead, Dave.
Have you been told officially by the league that the facilities will open up on Wednesday, or is that still to be determined?
That's my assumption, is that it's Wednesday. I haven't heard any further from that, but was told that it was Monday and Tuesday.